Okay, I wanted to walk you through how to use this tool that I wrote a few years ago. I use it every day. It's for image compression, specifically for screenshots on the web. As I'm going around on the web all the time, we'll take a screenshot of like a stock chart or a design that I think is cool. So I kind of made this little folder that contains some sample images. I thought this on the Wall Street Journal was kind of a cool design. And these are saved as PNGs, which are great for web designs because web designs have these straight lines, and PNGs by default don't lose any of that data. They're lossless files versus JPEGs for photos, which are lossy, and they all use different algorithms for compressing data. But PNGs are great for web designers and other people that are, uh, trying to study digital products or capturing stuff like this, capturing text. So the problem is that these lossless PMGs are actually huge, and most of the time you don't need all that data, and all they do is take up a lot of space on your cloud drives, et cetera, et cetera. So, smart people wrote these libraries there for compression. One of them is called PNG Quant. There are a few of them actually. There's also a tool called Image Magic, which is very popular. Well, I don't know, 13,000 stars on GitHub. Um, that's also integrated into my tool. So my tool is basically a wrapper that makes it really easy for you to enter in details, compression level details, and then run it. But importantly, and I should have mentioned this at the top, it allows you to preserve the creation dates of files because sometimes when you run these command line tools like PNG Quant, it'll wipe the creation date. So if you're trying to apply this to your entire Google Drive or OneDrive or whatever, and you have years of files, 10 gigabytes of screenshots maybe, you can get that down to 25% that size. But if it wipes all of the creation dates, you don't know, you know, if you took this in 2014 and you lose that information, that's a shame. So um, preserving that file meta is easy to do, relatively easy to do, and so this augments running just PNG quant over a directory, retain the original creation date, and the way you do it's all laid out in this README file. Um, you need to install these dependencies, which are PNG quant. And if you're running this on a Mac, you need to install this minimal Xcode tool because you have to use a special date preservation function called setFile. On a Mac, Macs have a tricky time actually resetting the creation date for a file unless they have this special command called setFile. On Linux machines, they use a function called touch, which is more universal. So this wrapper allows you to run this via a configuration file and set it to either touch or set file. So let's just get into it. You can go to github.com/file tools, and then you'll just see image creation. This is just a collection of file utilities that I've written and used and just put up in their own organization. So we'll download it and grab the zip. And it's even if you don't use if you're not a developer, this is pretty easy to use. We all know how to use this. Unzip a zip file. We'll open this, and you'll see a folder like this. And all you need to do is duplicate the sample and rename it to config. Okay, and then we can just open this. Let's just open it in not Notes. We don't want to use Apple Notes, but just open it in TextEdit. Great. So you'll see some comments that describe what each of these is. If it's prefixed by the semicolon, that's a comment. And then let's see, all we need to do basically to get it working is direct it to the location. So In my Google Drive, I have PNG sample files. If we right click on this and then we hold down the Option key, it says copy PNG sample as path name. So we can do that. In TextEdit, actually, you can also just drag in the path name. So let's do that instead. That makes it easy. Then we just copy and paste this here. Okay, and that's actually that's all you need to do if you're on a Mac is edit that first line. Okay, the rest of it are just additional options. There are some other fancy things you can do. It is set to set file, which, as I said, is the proper setting if you're on a Mac. More details in the README, but then all we need to do is open up Terminal. And all we need to do is type in PHP, and then we drag in this compress, and we hit enter, and it runs through these files. It reads the creation date, it applies PNG quant, and then it reapplies the creation date and then gives us success or failure message. So great. So that this file folder initially that we just ran it on was 12.3 megabytes. Okay. And now let's do get info and we'll see, oh, look at that. It's 3.3 megabytes. So it's 25% smaller. And if we uncompress the original, we'll see that, so this is the original. And let's open this Andy Weir the Martian. It's a nice big image. And Andy Weir the Martian. Okay. It's, you know, this file is 25% smaller in size, which will just mean it's easier if you need to share it with someone, takes up less space on your hard drive, and you can't even tell the difference. That's how good PNG Quant is. And this little library that I just showed you how to use will help you use it. I just kind of go through the day. I have a dedicated screenshots folder, so I don't even have to edit this little tool. And at the end of the day, I just go back into my terminal and I run it again. And actually in terminal, if this is the only app that you use in terminal, you can just hit the up key again and it will populate it with that same path. So if you have a fixed path, you just keep running that, at the end of every business day, and then you compress your files. I normally go through the screenshots that I take at the end of the day and I delete like 30% of them, and then I run the compression tool, and then it's already in Google Drive. So it just means that a smaller amount of data is stored on Google Drive, very similar quality, everyone's happy. So yep, that's how you do it. 25% the size of the original. And I will say that, full disclosure, there are other tools out there. If you go to the GitHub topic for image optimization, there's this great tool, Image Optim, which I also use. And it's a GUI that allows you to, so it's a graphical user interface. You don't have to use terminal. This is popular. It's almost 10,000 stars. And I will use this if I just want to like send someone an image and want to do a quick compression, because it's just drag and drop. You drag it into the interface, it will compress it, and then I'll use that in an attachment that I send someone. But for bulk modifications, the script that I use is really great. And like I said, use it every day. Because I normally will have like 30 or 40 screenshots at the end of a day of, in the laboratory, and want to do them all at once. It makes it easier. So, plus it gives you great, status and feedback. So that's how you use it. Thanks. I should also point out that you can also automate this so that screenshots are immediately compressed and you don't have to run the script anymore. But I like to kind of give them like part of my routine is just a daily look through and then running it once just because I delete a lot of them. So I just do it manually, but you can use tools like Alfred or custom scripts, and maybe I'll cover that in a different video, how to automate the compression process.